Welcome back to No Man's Sky, everyone. Jason here, and we are starting a brand new playthrough of No Man's Sky Worlds. I am really excited because there's been a lot of changes to the game, more visual changes, not a lot of details in the game itself, but I'm excited to jump in and kind of see and experience the world with all these brand new shiny terrain edits, you know, the sky, the clouds, all that kind of stuff. So if you're a brand new player, this is the perfect time to jump in and kind of experience the game. And I'm going to try to, this is more of, you know, more of a beginner friendly series. So I'm going to be doing a lot of explaining things. If you're a veteran of No Man's Sky, you probably already know all this stuff, but maybe I'll share some stuff that you guys don't even know about, even old school players. So first things first, when you go in here and start a brand new save, it gives you all these options. And whenever the bottom right hand side will be your expedition. These will only go for a limited time. You'll see how at the bottom it says 4 weeks remaining. When it's over, it's over. This will be grayed out. So this is not always going to be here. So if yours looks a little bit different, like if you're playing 5 weeks from now or whatever, like in August, September, whatever, it might look a little different. But you will see, you know, a normal experience, creative, which is basically just build and explore and do whatever. There's no penalties. Relaxed is like easy mode. And then you have custom where you can choose whatever you want. You can make it really difficult or really easy or a combination of both. And then you have survival, which is going to be harder, but when you die, you drop your inventory is destroyed, but you respawn. You come back to life. You just lose everything in your inventory. So depending on how you want to play it, you have a whole bunch of options. And again, go to your custom tab. You could choose a whole bunch of options. You can just make no survival elements or full-on survival. Survival difficulty, challenging, scarce. You can do all this. There's so many settings you can change. And keep in mind, you can always change this later on. So if you start the game and you're like, this is actually too easy. I want it to be a little bit more difficult with like the ship combat. You can turn that up if you want. Anytime you want, you can do that. Just make sure to not lock in your difficulty settings. So I'm going to be playing on standard, which is the normal difficulty right here. That's what I'm going to be playing on. And then, you know, if you feel like, hey, I want to spice it up, or maybe you jump in and you're like, dude, this game is too rough. There's a lot going on here. I need to tune it down a little bit. You can do that as well at any time you want. Not a big deal. It's all about having fun and playing the game in a way that makes it more fun for you. I'm just kind of going to start a new game, a normal game. I'm going to play through it from beginning to end and kind of show you the way that I would suggest you play it. But again, you don't have to play it in any particular way. If you want to just ignore everything and just want to find a really cool planet, you can do that. Oh my God, I'm blind. If you want to just, hey, look, I want to find the coolest animal, you can do that too. There's tons to do here. You can find the coolest ships. You can go looking for you can be a ship hunter. You can be a base builder. You want to find a cool planet to put a base on, you can do that as well. There's tons to do in this game. But keep in mind, it's more of a make your own adventure, create your own fun kind of game. So keep that in mind. There is some, I wouldn't call it a tutorial, but there is some kind of a storyline element to it to kind of explain the features of the game. But for the most part, 80% of this game is all on you. Make your own fun, find your own way. And I love that. It's Minecraft, but it has a little bit of storyline to kind of walk you through a little bit of it. So every time you start a brand new game, you're going to be on a hazardous planet, a planet that is dangerous, in other words. And so it's basically to kind of walk you through the tutorial on how do you survive. I would say the first thing you want to look for is a cave. Like I got lucky, I spawned up right next to a cave. So you have your big prompts that come up and say, hey, you want to go find sodium because you need to recharge your hazard protection. It needs sodium for that. But if you go into a cave, if you go undercover, it stabilizes. So you're outside of the atmosphere. You're in a cave. You're in cover. So while we're in here, your default is you have your mining beam. And if you press your select button, you can go into your inventory menu. This is your inventory menu. It gives you all the inventory for like your multi-tool. For your ship, you have your inventory in your ship. You also have your inventory in your exosuit. And keep a close eye on these different tabs. So you have a technology tab on the top right here. And then you have your cargo. So the difference is your technology is just where your upgrades go for your suit. Like that's your jetpack, your life support, anything that you can use as an upgrade will be in your technology. And you cannot put it in your cargo. You won't be able to put any technology in here. This is all for your items. Your materials go in your cargo. And the same thing goes for your starship. You have a technology tab. That's where your engine and your weapons go. It's only in your technology tab. Your cargo is just for your materials and the objects you collect in the game. And then your multi-tool is only technology. There's no like cargo in your multi-tool. So this is just for your upgrades for your weapon. And you can improve this as well. You'll notice it has some boxes that are not highlighted. So you can upgrade this and add more inventory room to anything. So your starship, you can add more inventory space in here in your technology and your cargo. And the same thing for your suit. So let's collect some resources to start with. You'll notice when I look at something, it says unidentified plant, carbon. So I know that if I destroy it, I will get carbon from this object. If I look at something else, I will get a marrow bulb if I destroy this plant right here. And you'll see it popping up on the top right of your screen. So different objects will give you different things. If I destroy this rock, it'll give me cobalt. And you have to hold it down and kind of whittle it down a little bit. And then boom, it explodes and you get all the cobalt out of there. Now, you'll also notice that it has unidentified plant. If you have a visor, you can scan it and you can identify it. That is a very, very easy way early game to make a lot of money. So every time you scan an object, you will make money for it. And if you upgrade that scanner, you'll get more and more money. But we'll get into that later on. But right now, we don't have a visor. Our visor is not installed. We don't have any upgrades or anything. So what we came into this cave for is number one, for cover. But number two, we need some cobalt. This is a rare material that's only found in caves. Well, I shouldn't say only. Mostly found in caves. You can find it randomly on the planet in deposits. But for the beginning, we'll just say it's only in caves for now. So let's destroy a whole bunch of these rocks and get the cobalt out of it. And you'll notice my laser's overheating. Boom, it overheats. So if you run your laser for too long, it overheats and basically shuts off. However, there is an advantage to having a hot laser. So if it's right now it's cold. There's nothing, it hasn't been used yet. Okay, I'm doing 40 damage, right? 40, 20. You see the damage numbers on that. But if I let it get warm, you see the meter at the top right-hand side of the screen. That's my hot meter, my heat meter. If I let it get up hot, watch this. Now I'm doing 70. I'm doing 58, 60. So a hot laser actually does more damage. So it is a really, really advantageous. It's in your interest to keep your laser warm. So what I do is I'll run it and let it cool off for a second, and then run it again. So you're just basically kind of throttling it a little bit here to keep it warm, but you don't want to overheat it. Just keep it warm a little bit. Boom, boom, and just collect all the stuff. And we're collecting a whole bunch of materials. Now keep in mind, there is a limit on your backpack, but because we're playing on normal mode, that limit is pretty high. So you don't have to worry about filling up your inventory full of stuff. Oh, now I'm out of ammo. I'm out of energy for my laser. So now we can go into the quick menu. So if you press down on your D-pad, it'll bring up your quick menu. These are the quick actions you can use. You can go to your camera for photo mode. You can go take a picture of anything like that. It pauses the game if you're in single player. There is multiplayer here. If you're in multiplayer, it will not pause the game. But if you're in single player, if no one else is playing with you, it'll pause the game so nothing else will happen. And you can kind of move the camera around. It's really, really cool. You play with it a little bit, kind of get the experience from it. But yeah, you can take a picture of something. You can also move the sun if you need a better sun. Like if I want to make it night, put the sun on the other side of the planet. There you go. I want to make it day. Move the sun right there and go blind. Oh, God. All right. But yeah, so there's photo mode. But we also have what we need is our recharge equipment, the battery icon. If you select that, you can select anything that's rechargeable. And right now, we only have materials for our laser, mining beam. And then it'll give you options on what you can use. So these are all the materials you can use to recharge your laser. Right now, we only have carbon, so let's use that. And we've recharged it. So now we can keep using our laser. I know there's a lot of stuff coming at you right now. Hopefully it's not too quickly, but again, you can go back and rewatch it, kind of slow it down if you need to. Anyway, so once we've collected a lot of resources, what we need to do is we need to start building some of our basic building blocks in the game. Just like in Minecraft, you need to build like an axe and, you know, a refiner and things like that. In No Man's Sky, we need to fix our scanner. So we need ferrite dust. We need to break up some rocks and get ferrite dust. However, we have blueprints to install certain upgrades ourselves. So we learned that. You can learn different blueprints, and they start you off with a personal force field, a bolt caster, which is a weapon, and then we have our analysis visor. This is our visor that we can use to scan things. I would highly suggest using this first. So we're going to put that in. But we have it installed, but it's not actually installed. So we put it in there, but it's not fixed. We need to build a carbon nanotube in order to install it completely. So if I back up, you'll see it's blue and it has a little gear icon. That means it's not fully installed. It's ready to go. I just need to use that one material, the carbon nanotube, in order to build it. So let's go back into our inventory menu. And we need to build a carbon nanotube. So if you highlight any of your inventory slots, it'll give you a product menu. If you press A if you're on Xbox, that's X if you're on PlayStation, it'll bring up your basic building blocks that you can build from all the materials you grab. And you will learn more and more of these recipes as you play the game. But right now we need to, you know, we have like batteries, we have life support gel. This is for your life support. We have launch fuel. We have all this stuff. We have ammo. But what we need to do is we need to make carbon nanotubes. And you'll notice that's the only one highlighted because that's the only one we have materials for. If I want to make a life support gel, it says, sorry, it's grayed out. You need dihydrogen jelly. We need something later on, so don't worry about that. Let's make one nanotube. And there you are. We just built it. So if we go back to our multi-tool, highlight the visor. Now it says, oh, you have the carbon nanotube. Let's do it. Install that. So you hover over it and install technology by pressing A. And we're done. And there are going to be multiple things like a bolt caster, your weapon. It takes multiple. It takes chromatic metal, which is way more advanced, and carbon nanotubes. So the higher level the technology, the more rare the resources and the more items you're going to need to install it. So keep that in mind. As we learn more and more items or blueprints, we'll need more and more items to build them. So now we have our visor. So if you press your left trigger, you pull up your visor, and now it'll give you tons of information about the world. So it'll tell you, it'll do a scan and kind of give you the things that are immediately around you. You'll see it has a red exclamation point. That is hazardous plants. So these plants will hurt you if you get close enough to them. It'll mark like all these different objects all in the world, which is awesome. But the big thing we want to look for is our ship. So let's look around, and there it is. So your starship right there, that is where we want to go. That is where we need to go. So if you press and hold X on an object, or if you're on PlayStation, that would be square, it'll lock it in. So now, even if I put my visor down, it's locked in. But you can change that. So if I wanted to highlight this plant, the solar vine, highlight that. Now the solar vine is there, but my ship is gone. Oh no, well, you know, it's gonna mark that anyway. Dang it. Well, here, let's do that one. We'll do another one. Solar vine right there. Let's highlight this damaged machinery right here. So now the solar vine is gone. It'll only highlight certain objects. Your ship is always going to be on your screen because they always want you to know where the ship is. That was a bad example. Sorry. But yeah, like if you highlight anything, it'll highlight that thing, but it'll remove the previous marker. So again, go back to the solar vine. Now that damaged machinery is broken. So we need to get to our ship, which is over there. 400 units. I bounce between feet and meters and all that kind of stuff. Oh, there's our opening. So you have a jetpack on by default because you're in space, obviously. If you press and hold A, you'll jump and use your jetpack. but you only have a limited amount of resources on that. You can only use it for so long before it overheats and you have to let it cool down, and then you can use it again. You see at the bottom right hand side of the screen, that's where it is. Now there is a secret to this jetpack. It is what we call, or what I call, a jetpack jump or a jetpack boost. So you also have a melee attack in No Man's Sky. If you run out of ammo, like I don't have a weapon right now, so I can't do anything to an animal, right? I can laser them, but that's about it. Or I can punch them. So there is a trick to using that in conjunction with your jetpack. So if I just run and then jetpack, you kind of go forward, you move forward a little bit, but it's not really that quick, right? Because your jetpack is aimed downward. However, if you do a punch, you notice how my shoulder goes forward and my jetpack starts aiming down. So if you do that while you're running, you do a punch, and then your jetpack immediately afterwards, you do what's called a jetpack jump. So let me show you what that looks like. So run, punch, jetpack. And now you go way faster than if you were just to jump up in the air like that. You go way quicker. So you'll see me do it constantly. I'm always running, and then I'll do a punch, jetpack. And it's really hard to get the timing down. It takes a little bit of practice, but you can. Once you get it down, it is a really fast way to move around a planet if you want to run around on foot. And as you get more upgrades for your jetpack to make it go faster, to make it last longer, that jump will get so fast. On my main save that I have all my upgrades on, my jetpack jump is insanely huge. It'll jump farther and for longer. But right now, because we don't have any upgrades, we kind of just do a little... Oh, see, I ran into a tree there. Dang it. So punch and then forward like that. So the other downside, though, is if you fall too far, you will take fall damage in this game. So your normal fall like this, you're not going to take damage. Oh, no, I took a little bit of damage. Okay, I did take some damage. If you use the jetpack jump, you will go farther and you can fall farther, which means you'll take more damage. So be careful of that. So let's grab some more materials as we're running around on this planet. And there are different planets in this game. I don't know, there's a lot of new players who you should know that, but just in case you don't. So I am on a hot planet, but there are cold planets, there are poison planets, there are radiation planets. There are a ton of different planets you can land on. And they randomize it when you first start your game, so I'm on a hot planet. Let's go over here, our ship, and that doesn't look good. Our ship is smoking, so probably not a good sign. Let's get in our ship and see what the heck is going on here. Iteration, really long number, online. Atlas connection, intermittent. Launch thrusters, offline. Pulse engine, offline. Pilot multi-tool, critically damaged. I find myself alone on a strange world, unequipped and in danger. I have no memory of how I got here, no sense of a before. But this ship at least seems to recognize me. The controls react to my touch, or at least to that of my exosuit. I'm not dead yet, and this ship is a lifeline out to the stars. Well, let's read that log. Log 4925A, unavailable. Substituting data. Exosuit, connected. Suggestion. Pilot should perform maintenance. Select desired repair path. Okay, let's repair my multi-tool scanner. Local area scanner offline. Repair sequence initiated. So I have to repair my scanner in my multi-tool. I need ferrite dust. I gotta do that before I can do anything else. So I need to get out and look for rocks that have ferrite dust. So again, as you hover over objects, it'll tell you what's in there. We have carbon in that. Carbon. These little animal guys. Hello. So we're looking for rocks. That's where ferrite dust is going to be. There we go. There's one. So that's a cool looking rock. Let's break that up. And remember, we need 75, so we need to break up a lot of rocks to fix our scanner. There's another rock right here. Oh, wait a minute. And this is a special rock. So you see it says unidentified mineral. And it says ferrite dust, and then there's question marks with analyze underneath it. If you scan this thing, it'll give you more materials. So right now we don't know what it is. So pull out your visor by pressing left trigger, and then right trigger will scan it. And so now we know we have a name for it. It gives it a generic name. It's a meme light, and it gives us ferrite dust and then a secondary mineral called dihydrogen. So now anytime we break a rock that looks like this one, it will give us those two. So there you go. There's another one right here. So that is a really, really good advantage for scanning a lot of different stuff. Like you'll notice, I haven't really scanned anything yet. So you want to do that. Plus also you get money for it. So let me scan something else and show you. Let me scan this big old rock right here. So if you scan an object, you'll see in the center of the screen, it says Rainoite and 200 underneath that. That's 200 in-game currency. That's 200 units, which is the money in No Man's Sky. So I just made $200 by scanning that object. And again, when you get upgrades for your scanner, you'll get more and more money for stuff. So, but right now we're getting 200. Hey, that's better than zero. We had $0. Now we have 200 or 400 technically because we scanned multiple. All right. So I think we got enough of the ferrite dust. Let's check it. Yes, we do. So if you hover over it, it'll tell you. Or go to your exosuit and you can see how much you have. I have 127, so that's plenty. Let's fix our scanner. So now we have a scanner. Now we have a scanner. So now we need to start fixing our ship. So the first thing you want to do is, just like when we installed our technology upgrades for our multi-tool, you want to look at your ship. And you'll notice there was red exclamation points. That's broken. We need these objects to fix it. So we need pure ferrite, dihydrogen jelly. We also need hermetic seal and metal plating. So it'll say, oh, highlight right here. We need to make a metal plating. We need to craft it. Bottom right-hand side of the screen, it'll tell you what to do. So let's craft a product. Metal plating. We also need dihydrogen jelly, remember? So we have that recipe as well. So all the recipes are in here. They're able for you to be to make. And it tells you what you need. So we need the dihydrogen crystals, the blue crystals on the ground. We need that. All right. We also need... We're going to need some more metal plating. So let's collect some resources. I would say highly suggest collect as much as you can. Now, later on, once you start making tons of money, you can just buy all this stuff if you want to. But in the beginning, we have no money. So you're going to definitely want to collect as much as you possibly can for free, essentially. That way you don't have to worry about using your hard-earned money to begin with on this stuff. Let's scan this weird-looking plant that's glowing. All right. Oh my god, it's so blinding! I don't know why you're glowing. I bet you because it's all warm, probably. All right, we got some good materials here. So let's make our metal plating. Right there, we got it. We can install that. Now, you don't have to do both at the same time. It'll keep track of it, so we've only fixed one thing out of it. We need to fix the other thing, though. So let's get back in our ship. And it says, iteration long number, functional. Starship critically damaged, vital ingredients missing. Unable to synthesize required components, pulse engine requires a hermetic seal. And we don't have that recipe. We don't know how to make that. So we need help with that. Require assistance. Recommendation. Iteration comparison reveals hermetic seal nearby. Salvage planetary chart from the distress beacon cache. So there's one nearby that we need to go find. So let's this distress beacon over here. This will have a chart for us. So let's crack this thing open. Scenario. Iteration deleted. Boundary separation failure likely. Vessel 16 emptied. Cause sentinel intervention. Deliberate transfer. Analysis. Fresh iteration generated. Anomaly containment prepared. All right, let's broadcast. Broadcast received. Traveler anomaly detected. Anomaly is compliant. Position logged. System integrity scan initialized. A red light fills my vision. All I see is crimson, and then it fades. The color drains, and the world that had seemed so clear seems to slip away. I peer inside the beacon's housing. As well as its distress beacon unit, it contains a planetary chart. Well, let's take that. So yeah, now we have a chart. So you will randomly find these, and they will mark specific locations. This first one is going to mark your hermetic seal, the thing we need. That's why we went in there and grabbed it. So let's fire it off by pressing X if you're on Xbox, or square if you're on PlayStation. And it will mark the nearby object, whatever that chart is supposed to look for. It'll mark that thing. So again, in this case, we're looking for a hermetic seal. And there it is over there. Now, before we go on this journey, I will highly suggest making batteries for your hazard protection. For your own protection in your environment. So an ion battery is used to charge up your hazard protection. We need cobalt, which we got out of the cave, remember, and ferrite dust, which we got out of the rocks. And now, I made one battery, but instead of going back through the menu and doing that again, what you can do is hover over an object, and if you're able to build it, like if you know the recipe, all you have to do is press X if you're on Xbox, or square if you're on PlayStation, and you make another one. Make another one. And so you just keep tapping it, and you can keep going. You can make a whole bunch, as much as you want. There you are. So I've made 18 batteries, which should be plenty. And I am a crazy person. I like having my my materials in special spots on my inventory. So you'll notice I always keep things in certain spots. The other thing you can do, by the way, is you can move your technology. Now, you can't take it out, and like I can't take my jetpack out and put it in my cargo. But if you press X over your technology, you can pick it up and you can move it. So wherever you want to put it. And there is going to be an advantage to this later on. You want to put them next to other objects. So if I have a jetpack and a jetpack upgrade, you want them together touching. So we can do that really quick by doing our oxygen. Oh, we don't have enough oxygen. Never mind. We'll do that later on. But yeah, so you can move stuff around if you need to. So you want to put it basically with the other upgrades. So let's head on over to that marker and let's open up this damaged machinery. Now, if you hover over this, it is full of feces, which is basically poop. It's exactly what it sounds like. Its value is 2,000 units. That's a lot, so we'll take that for now. We can sell that poop for $2,000. That's amazing. And then we got Starship launch fuel out of that. So there was launch fuel in this broken machine. The other thing we have are these boxes that are around here. See, you notice how we open it up and we'll get some stuff out of there. There's just random, and they're all over the place. There's random boxes all over the place. And some of them, like this damage container, are going to be locked by junk. You see rusted metal. You can use this to make ferrite dust, but again, it is marked as junk, so you don't have to worry about that. If you click in your right thumbstick, it'll delete it. That way you don't even have to worry about picking it up. You don't have to carry it with you. You can just destroy it and you'll be done. So you can use it. You can use it. You can put it in your inventory and carry it around if you want to. I think it's a waste of time though, so I would not bother with it. And then we have this tube right here that needs an Atlas pass. So that's an advanced item we will get later on. Let's go towards our decoded coordinates. We do our jetpack jump. Keep it going. Oh god, there's a hazardous plant right there. Look how big that thing is. Don't like that guy. Look at this guy, he's gonna mess me up. There you go. Get some of these blue crystals. We're gonna need that later on. So as you're walking towards your hermetic seal, collect as much as you can. Just, you know, pop a whole bunch of like rocks and crystals and all that kind of stuff. Just shoot them, you know, kill the hazardous flora that's trying to murder you. Just keep on going. Unidentified plant. Well, let's scan that. 600 feet away. Good Lord. All right. So we're definitely going to have to do some jetpack jumps to get over there. Now we have a storm. So this is part of the tutorial. This is basically to teach you how to make your batteries. We did ours earlier. That way we don't have to panic right now. So right now a storm is going to come in. So a storm is going to be different on every planet. If it's a radiation planet, you'll get a radiation storm. If you're on a hot planet, you'll get like a wall of flame. You'll get fire, storms to happen. Let's recharge our laser there. So it says take shelter or to, charge up your hazard protection, because it will protect you, but it will drain faster in a storm. So you see over on the left-hand side of the screen, my display now says storm, and my hazard protection is draining way faster because now it's super hot. It is very, very hot outside, and you'll notice, yeah, now it's getting real bad. So again, you can do your quick menu, recharge battery, and select your hazard protection, and it lets you use sodium if you want to, or we have a battery. Batteries are way more efficient. That's why you want to use a battery. And there you go. So now we have another few, probably about a minute of protection because we're in the middle of a storm. Pop this rock right here. So storm's not a big deal. There are some planets that have extreme storms, which are really, really bad. So this is a normal planet with a normal storm. They don't want to start you off on an extreme planet. However, you will run into planets that have like tornadoes. They'll have massive storms that you don't want to mess with. So, but if you have a lot of upgrades, you'll be able to survive a little bit longer. Right now, we're still in the beginning of the game, so we don't have any upgrades, technically. We just have our bare essential hazard protection, that's it. So, yeah, later on, I absolutely hate tornadoes in this game because they pick you up and throw you, and you basically get murdered constantly. At least I do. You guys might survive it, but I don't. I always get murdered by the tornadoes in this dang game. All right. So here, we have a shelter here. So we can hide away from the storm in a shelter, just like we did in the beginning with the cave. If you find a cave, you can go in there as well. Or if you find a building, go inside the building. So now we're protected against the elements. You can open up some of the stuff in here. Grab some materials that someone left. Open up this sensor here. Oh, I got some money for my stocks. So storm is clearing now. I have some chairs. You can spin. But the big thing is right here, the hollow archive. Accessing archive. 6 out of 7 logs corrupted. Entry 4924A follows. No one, and it cuts out. Making this recording in case. Leaving behind in the fabricator. Might be of some use. So we got a broken up record here. Visor damaged. Can't find ship. So whoever was here, they didn't make it off the planet. They couldn't find their ship. I'm going to, though, so we're going to recover the supplies. And the log finishes and the machine whirls to life, spitting out supplies. I have the hermetic seal I need to repair my ship. Whoever it was that led me here, whoever left this message, perhaps they found themselves in the same situation as I do now. So yeah, someone was here before me and they didn't survive. Hermetic seal. So now we have it, and now that we've picked one up, we know how to make it. So now we have the blueprint for it. We can make another one if we need to. If our ship gets damaged, we'll be able to make another backup one in case we need it later on. Let's head back to our ship. Now the storm is gone, so we don't have to worry about that. But again, let's collect some materials as we're going along. And I will say a really good way to make a lot of money early on is to scan everything you see. Scan all the plants, scan all the animals, and they will give you different amounts of money depending on the rarity. So like a rock is very common. They'll give you a little bit of money. An animal is very rare. If you scan it, I just got $1,000 for scanning this little crab guy. So there we are. Oh, open up these containers. That's junk. We don't need it. So scan some of these plants. For that plant, we got $500. So not as rare as an animal. And you'll notice that animals give you the most amount of money. 1,600 for that animal, that flying stuff. Yeah. You can also scan everything, including the hazardous plants, the plants that hurt you, right before we kill it. Scan that animal there. Oh, there's a building over there. As you'll notice, right there, unknown building. There we are, but we need to get back to our ship. So let's go back to our ship. Now that we have some stuff here. Get that. Bit nice and warm. That way it breaks them up faster. I guess not. All right, there's no other animals here or plants. Oh, fall damage again. Remember, be careful with that. You can take a lot of fall damage and die. I've died plenty of times doing the jetpack jump. So just keep that in mind. And you don't have to use it fully. Like if you want to, what I generally do is I'll use it for an initial boost and then just keep tapping it. You don't have to hold it down. So if you're really like comfortable doing this, you can jump and then just keep tapping it. So you don't have to hold it down. Just tap, tap, tap until it overheats. So it kind of saves you some fuel and makes it last a little bit longer. Now, as you get better upgrades for your jetpack, it'll last longer. It'll have more power, so it actually launches you faster. Things like that. Right now, boom, boom. Yeah, I only have a little bit of juice, so it overheats pretty quickly. Get that sodium. All this ferrite dust. All right, so we can fix our ship. We have the hermetic seal, so let's get in here. And you'll notice I get inside of my ship because you're protected from the environment inside your ship. So it'll basically protect you from, in my planet, overheating. So my hazard protection will recharge while you're either in a building, in a cave, or in your ship. So let's do that. Fix it. So now our engine, our pulse engine will be fixed. So now we have an engine, but we don't have a launch thruster, so we can't get off the planet. We can just fly. So now we need to fix the launch thruster. We need dihydrogen jelly, which we got. We made that little, the circle. The jelly thing earlier. So let's install that. But now we need pure ferrite. So we can't get pure ferrite. So you'll notice there's some things we can't get with our laser because it's not upgraded. So you'll see this one. It has pure ferrite. If you look at it, it says it has pure ferrite. However, I need an advanced mining laser in order to get this. If I try to get it, it will not happen. If I try to punch it, I won't get anything out of this thing because I need a really advanced laser for that. But we can get around that. So if you make a portable refiner, you'll be able to refine regular ferrite dust into pure ferrite. However, if you press up on your D-pad, sorry, I'm already skipping stuff. Up on your D-pad, you go into your build menu. You have to build a refiner. And we need metal plating and oxygen, right? So we need a metal plating. Let's do that. Make one metal plating. So now we go back into our build menu by pressing up on the D-pad from your normal menu here, normal gameplay. And then we have portable refiner. And we can put it down anywhere you want. You can't put it down under your ship. It won't do that because it's too close. You put it down. And now let's get in here. Now this is just like any other refiner like in Minecraft. You need fuel first. So we need to put gas in there. We need to put fuel to make it work. And it takes carbon or condensed carbon, which is more advanced. So we're going to use our regular carbon. And before I go in there, let me show you. The numbers down here kind of don't make sense unless you know what's going on. So the 867 in the parentheses is how much I have. So I have 867 carbon. The number on the outside of the parentheses is how much is required. So I need to put 80 in there out of my 800. That way you know, oh, my condensed carbon, it needs 12 and I only have 12. So it actually needs more than that, but I only have 12. That's it. If I only had 78 carbon, it would only show 78 because that's all I have. It's going to take everything I have. So I'd rather use this one because I have way more than enough. That's why I'm doing that. And then we need to put our ferrite dust in there, but we don't have enough. We only have 29, right? So if we put it in there, you'll see the numbers right next to it are 1:1. So it takes 1 ferrite dust in order to make 1 pure ferrite. Turn it on. And look at that, it just refined it all down. So all my ferrite dust is gone and it turned it into pure ferrite. Easy enough, right? But we need more than that, so let's go crush some more rocks. That way I can get some more ferrite dust. Up, life support's getting low. Up, snapper, dang it. Don't need you hurting me. I need the rocks, though, that are next to you. So let me have these rocks. Thank you. There we are. So we got a few more. So let's pop it in here. Let's go back into our menu. And let's add some more ferrite dust. Now, you don't need to add the whole thing if you want. So if you pick it up, if you press X or square if you're on PlayStation, it will split the stack in half. So I have 88 in my hand right now. If I press X or square if you're on PlayStation, it'll cut it in half. So look at it, it went to 22, 11, 5, 2, 1, and you can't go half of 1. So it'll just keep splitting it in half. And if you go too far, you're like, oh crap. Press B to cancel out, and then go back in there and do it again. So yeah, we could just split it in half. That's what I do normally, is I'll split it. Instead of trying to pick up however much you need, you know, manually, you can just split it. The other thing you can do is, if you pick it up and press down, or I guess, yeah, left and right on the D-pad, look at that. It goes down by 10. See how it goes from 44, 34, 24, 14. So you can do it by 10 as well. You can't. It used to be you can do it by 1 at a time, but they figured out that no one uses that anymore. But yeah, so I always do the quick stack. I just split it in half. If you want to be exact, you can totally just do this too. So if I wanted exactly, let's say 7. That is all the work you have to do to get there. And if I have all these stacks in here, watch this. If I go into my refiner, it'll have every single stack you have in here. So look, I got 5, 5, 5, all the same material, but it's all different stacks. And I can look for my stack of 7. It's a pain in the butt. I wouldn't recommend it, especially for this stuff. It's easy to find a whole bunch more of it, so you don't have to worry about, oh, I need exactly this much. You don't have to worry about that. The other thing is, it drives me crazy if you have multiple stacks of it. It drives me crazy. Put it all together. Killing me. There we go. All right, so this is all the stuff in our suit, right? If you are close enough to your ship, like right here, I'm right next to it, right? I can transfer items by pressing Y on the top of it. And it says, hey, you want to put it in your quick transfer to your ship? You can totally do that. However, if you go too far, like you can't just transfer it to your ship no matter what. If I go too far, like probably around here, it's too far away. I can't interact. It's too far. It's out of range. So if I try to put it in there, sorry, out of range. So you can only do that if you're close to your ship. Later on, you can get an upgrade to help you transfer farther, but still, you can't like move something to your ship from across the planet. You have to be pretty close to it. All right, let's fix our engine. So our launch thruster is fixed and our engine is fixed. We are good. So now we can leave. We can leave the planet. So that is going to be in our next episode. We're going to leave the planet and continue on in the storyline of No Man's Sky. Hopefully you guys had fun today and kind of informative, and hopefully you're playing No Man's Sky and enjoying it. If you are, hit that like button, and I will see you guys next time.